is actually going to be addressing the bad misconceptions of your industry and how they directly affect your business. So the previous video yesterday was talking about who the best is in your local market and how to basically acknowledge who the best is outside of your company if somebody else is not going to hire you. So the second part of this is going out and addressing the negative connotations of your industry. And even if you are the best lawn care or home cleaning or pest control business in your industry, you are subject to these misconceptions. So my opinion is, if we're going to go out and differentiate ourselves to our future consumers and get that trust, we need to be different, unlike the misconceptions of our industry. So one of the biggest things that we see in the service industry is that people don't care about quality. They don't return phone calls. They're not professional. They don't cover insurance. Whatever those major concerns are around your service and your industry, my suggestion is going out through content marketing, just like this video, and create educational information for your future consumer, how to go out and vet and hire a professional service. So in the lawn care industry, a lot of the big things that we see as issues is that the person will never call you back. They don't show up when they should. They don't care about the quality. So if you pay them and they don't do the job right, basically you're left on your own to fix it. Insurance, if something gets broken, you throw a rock through a window from a mower inadvertently, it's gonna happen. Who's left to be responsible to fix that? Obviously, if the contractor doesn't have home insurance, it's up to the homeowner and their home insurance to actually take care of that. Obviously, it's not fair, and that's not the way 99% of us do business. But unfortunately, the 1% is what's absolutely killing us in the service industry. So in order to gain that future trust, frame yourself as an expert, and shorten that sales cycle and close more sales, I'd recommend going out proactively on social media and create content videos, or if you don't like videos, written text, PDFs, around these topics. So an example of my business is what we did is in snow removal in upstate New York. Residential snow plowing is a little bit different up here. It's the third highest snowfall market in the whole United States, believe it or not. We average 120 to maybe sometimes 130 or 40 inches of snow lakeside. So it's ripe for the picking for people trying to make a quick buck and rip people off. So what happens is every fall, without fail, for the last 15 to 20 years, basically people come in and pose as contractors, and they literally take cash money for the whole entire season of a contract, usually preying on the elderly, but everybody falls victim for what you've seen, and it's on the news. People have been put away for 10, 15 years in jail, literally, in the fall in upstate New York, Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse. And this is very, very common. So the residential snow plowing industry in this area has a very, very bad perception publicly that they can't be trusted. And even when it does hit 3 inches of snow in the trigger, they're not going to show up. And if there's an issue, they're not going to help you. They're going to take your money and rob you blind. So in order to combat this basically misconception or problem, we're addressing the problems up front, we created a series of videos and even Facebook ads to talk about the 9 top things you need to talk about when hiring a snow removal professional in the residential industry in Rochester, New York. Believe it or not, this was new because no one really had the thought of addressing these things head up. I'll be honest, it was things I never really wanted to answer when people brought them up, but they needed to be addressed. So they said, how do you handle payment? What if there is a town plow or city plow that comes by and buries the driveway and we can't get out? Is that included in the contract? Is it not included in the contract? So all of these questions around the conceptual problems of the snow removal industry, you addressed them up systematically, stated the problem, and answered them as honest as possible. And then we repurposed them on different social media outlets such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And the question or the misconception of our industry was actually the headline. So it had good SEO and searchability. But one of the main examples was here is in our unlimited plowing contract, it only included plowing the driveway in the unobstructed areas. People, for some reason, were under the misconception we could literally pick their cars up and plow underneath them. Obviously not happening. But we addressed exactly what the service included and didn't include. So it included every 3 inches of snow. We would not guarantee an exact time based on the snowfall event or potential traffic conditions. We did shoot for 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. as clear out times for average snowfall. It did not include drifts or snow from town plows or sidewalk plows. That was a misconception of our consumer that we should be doing it, but in the contract that we did, we didn't cover it. And 99.9% of the contractors in our market didn't cover it, but that was considered by the public a problem because they assumed that we would just do it because no one up to that point really had stated what was included, not included in the contract. So addressing the problems up front minimized our headaches and let people to trust us because they knew exactly what they're getting from the service. So we addressed the timing issue, what was included, what wasn't included up front, and the other additional problem in that industry was people literally getting robbed blind by contractors. So what we did is we changed the name of the game and said we will only take credit card or check, and we have to have a signed contract. If you fail to have either one of those on file, a contract signed and dated, understanding and accepting the terms of the agreement, and payment in check or credit card. If you gave us cash, we wouldn't take it. And if you failed to even have a contract but you paid us, we would literally refund your money. So the biggest issue is concern of paying a contractor for the whole season up front. We differentiated ourselves by saying you needed a signed agreement and we needed credit card or check payment, so we had a written record to protect you as a consumer. But by addressing these problems up front, we were different, and in my opinion, we gained the trust of the consumer a lot quicker than our competitors, which allowed us to basically book our entire schedule to capacity, usually before the middle of September. So comments or questions drop below, but main point of the video here is our industry, no matter what service industry, has a bad public perception because a short few people actually go out and do what they shouldn't be doing. So if you're willing to, and I believe you should, you need to go out and address these problems up front through education. And if you're not willing to address them more honestly and more transparently than your competitors, then one of your competitors is going to do it and go out and win the trust of your future customer and your current customers right now. So tip of the day, thought of the day, go out and address the misconceptions of our industry and the problems of each type of service, and through education, become the expert, become the trusted service provider for that service, and win more work in your industry. So I want to say what's up to Charlie, Bill, Sam, and Jeff on our way out to another 2-day deep dive in Rochester, New York. Lawn care company coming in where we're going to revamp their whole entire estimating, bidding, and literally workflow system in the next 2 days here. So this will be day 2 of 2 days here. So pretty crazy day as we're going back into this, but we got probably, I would say, close to 6,000 data points that the Simple Growth team is just pumping into this service autopilot application. So as they're gearing up for the next 2020 season, they understood the value that they needed a systematic estimating system to create predictable results, so they could delegate it to literally someone who had never done lawn care or snow removal estimates and literally plug in variables on their phone of the square footage, number of shrubs, any of the variables they're looking at, linear length of bed for bed edging. But basically, when they walk out here in the next 8 to 9 hours, they're going to have an estimating system that took me 6 to probably 7 years to build in a matter of 2 days. So kind of crazy. I absolutely love helping small business owners like myself take their life back from the business and create standardized processes for predictable results that does not involve the business owner to have all the information that had to be the single point of failure. Because be honest, in the beginning, when I first started my company, that was the mistake I made. So it's become my passion now to help other small business owners just like myself have that journey of a freedom-based service business where they can leave at 20 to 30 days at a pop and have the thing run as good, if not better, without them. And let's be honest, as small business owners, we like to get in there and sometimes micromanage, become that bottleneck of growth. But by creating these predictable systems internally, we're able to overcome those growth hurdles and break that million in mark and well beyond. But before we get that million mark and beyond with those sales, we need to address these 5 key things I'm talking to you about and over the next few days. Last one was basically literally who is the best in your market, how do we address that, and if people ask, we're transparent about it. Today's topic, is going out and addressing the misconceptions of our industry and the problems associated with the services we're providing, and how we handle them differently than everybody else to be that go-to expert, to be trusted. So comments and questions drop them below, and we will see you at tomorrow's video. I want to say what's up to Matt Green as we exit the video too, man. Another guy just absolutely crushing it out there. So congrats, brother. Love the content too.